This is the Broadcasting Corporation of Biafra, BCB, bringing you news, cultural, and educational programs. This is BCB, the Broadcasting Corporation of Biafra. And here is a special announcement from the leadership of Biafra government in exile. This is BCB.
Welcome once again to this week's broadcast, coming to you every Sunday, 4 p.m. Biafra time. Very warm greetings to all our listeners, Biafrans and friends of Biafra, and all men and women of good conscience. The month of May is Biafra Remembrance Month, or Biafra Heroes Month if you like, or better still, Biafra Freedom Month. As we approach this year's May 30, the anniversary of Biafra independence, we in Biafra government in exile are filled with hope as well as expectation. I am persuaded to be positive and explore, as we march towards May 30, the best qualities of Biafra and Biafrans, especially in Igbo, all over the world, and in southeast and southern enclave of the present-day Nigeria. We are not only confronted by the real and present threats of extermination and marginalization, we are also faced with reputational damage threats. There is a concerted effort by the enemy to damage the reputation and character of Biafrans, particularly in Igbo, by fomenting all sorts of falsehood and carrying out unimaginable acts and crimes, either by undercover secret agents and by paid Fulani agents to commit crimes and then label Biafrans or Igbo for committing those crimes. The Nigerian government has invested billions of naira in lobbying foreign governments and organizations to convince them that Biafrans, especially in Igbo, are troublemakers, are bad people, and we are violent people. But we are not. We must use every opportunity available to right the wrongs, to tell our story and reverse every damage done to our worldwide reputation as a people. We are a great people, and we are extremely valuable to the world in all aspects of social, political, economic, and technological advancement. We add value to humanity. The world needs to know unequivocally the mammoth impact Igbos and Biafrans have on the world stage. As the media continues to tarnish our image, we must, as a people, from now on report such feats as Professor Ugo Anieto, who discovered a new medicine, a new antibiotics, a great scientist, and antibiotics that will not be resistant to any ailment. So anywhere you go, you go and you find an Igbo man or Igbo woman, you find development, you find commerce, you find industry, you find duty, respect for constituted authority, decency, fear of God, ingenuity, healthy competition, fair play. The more reason why the pursuit of freedom and justice is important to us. We value freedom because from it comes fairness, justice, development, opportunity, creativity, competitiveness, humanity, effective and humane leadership. Whereas the peoples and nation of Biafra and their land and property find themselves under physical, sociological, political, and economic subjugation by the state of Nigeria since 1967, a state of occupation by Nigeria of Biafra. This has existed and continues to exist. Unwilling, though, to continue to live under such stifling servitude, while suffering such indignities as are inappropriate for human beings, determined to exercise the natural and legal rights to freedom and liberty, we, the people of the Federation of Biafra, resolve to actualize, renew, reaffirm, and continue with the Declaration of Biafra Independence of May 30, 1967, with all the implications thereof. In reaffirming the independence of Biafra, the peoples and nation of Biafra make neither war nor peace with the state or peoples of Nigeria. Rather, we exercise a natural right, a popular right, a political right, and a right supported by United Nations Organization Charter and international laws, the right of self-determination. In the certain realization that only the effective exercise of self-determination by the peoples and nation of Biafra will end the state of occupation and subjugation by Nigeria of Biafra. As we look forward to May 30, 2022, let us find moments to reflect on everything that is great and valuable that we bring to the world stage, from democracy to commerce, technology, leadership, apprenticeship, hard work, creative ventures, free enterprise, and respect for human dignity. Let me end by this quote from Thomas Jefferson, writing the American Declaration of Independence, said, and I quote, "When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with other, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to their separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." On the stroke of 12 noon on May 30, everywhere you may be on the planet, stand still, sit in quiet meditation and prayer for 2 minutes, and remember all those who made the ultimate sacrifice for us, from the pogrom to the genocide until date. The many Biafran men and women who have lost their lives to the Nigerian security forces, to Boko Haram, to bandits. From the rising of the sun until the morning, we will remember them. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to welcoming you again next Sunday. Share the link and get all Biafrans and friends of Biafra listening to us and supporting us. God bless you, and may God bless our nation, Biafra.
This is the Broadcasting Corporation of Biafra, BCB, with the news summaries for the week. In the news this week, Imo State government constitutes panel to tackle insecurity. Ipob dismisses rumours of planned attack on northerners and others in the southeast. I will prioritise poverty reduction, employment opportunities if elected. Peter Obi. 2023 presidency, northern groups give reasons Igbos can't be trusted with power. And in our article of the week, Southeast presidency and imperative of national unity. Stay tuned for details coming up shortly. From The Guardian, Imo State government constitutes panel to tackle insecurity. Worried by the upsurge of insecurity in the 27 local councils of Imo State, the governor Hope Uzodinma has raised a committee on security. Uzodinma also mandated a panel to organize a stakeholders conference tentatively fixed between August 11th and 12th to brainstorm and proffer solution on how to curb the problem of insecurity in the state. According to a statement yesterday by the Special Advisor to the Governor on Public Enlightenment, Eze Ugochukwu, the committee will be headed by the Imo State Commissioner for Homeland Security. It was disclosed that the Commissioner for Information and Strategy is a member of the committee. The other members of the committee include the Commissioners for Special Duties, Information and Strategy, Youth and Sports, Health, Women Affairs, Special Advisors on Security, Public Safety, Coordinator IMSO, Commandant Civil Guards, and 4 others from the Legal Affairs, Research and Planning Departments of the Ministry of Homeland Security and Vigilante Affairs. Speaking on the terms of reference given to the committee, Ugochukwu stated that the committee would plan, organize, implement, and report on the first Imo International Homeland Security Conference as tentatively planned. He informed that the proposed keynote speaker will be the Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, disclosing that about 500 participants drawn from the civil society, educational institutions, security organizations, traditional rulers, citizens, and Imo residents would attend. The statement further stated, the conference will highlight the Imo State government's approach, successes in security and peacemaking under Uzodinma. In our next news headlines from Ripples, Nigeria, Ipob dismisses rumors of planned attack on northerners and others in the southeast. The indigenous people of Biafra, Ipob, has dismissed reports on the planned attack of northerners and non-Biafrans living in the southeast. The group had been accused of masterminding the series of attacks on public institutions and individuals in the region. The IPOB's Director of Media and Publicity, Ima Powerful, who stated this in a statement on Thursday, claimed the news of the planned attack came from the Nigerian military. He, however, accused the army of plotting to unleash mayhem in the southeast and heaped the blame on IPOB. The statement read, based on the internal memo from the Nigerian military intercepted by IPOB's intelligence unit, we, the global movement and family of the indigenous people of Biafra, led by Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, wish to reiterate for the umpteenth time and assure all non-Biafran residents in Biafra land, and the general public that IPOB has no plans whatsoever to attack Northerners or any other non-indigents living in the Biafran territory. As a matter of fact, Biafrans are the only race that will defend or take the side of a visitor or a sojourner in our land against his own brother and sister, because our culture and the land of Biafra forbids injustice. The IPOB leadership call on all residents in Biafra land, both Biafrans and non-Biafrans, to ignore this deliberate falsehood from a terrorist-infested and discredited Nigerian army headquarters, and unequivocally assure them of their safety and enjoin them to go about their businesses anywhere in Biafra land without fear of molestation. The only people that are not and will not be welcome in Biafra land are Fulani terrorists masquerading as herdsmen who are destroying our farmlands with their unclean cows, molesting and raping our mothers, sisters and wives, farming in our bushes and forests, and murdering our people doing their legitimate farm work. I will prioritize poverty reduction, employment opportunities if elected. Peter Obi. Mr. Peter Obi, presidential aspirant for 2023 general elections on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, says that he will prioritize poverty reduction through tackling unemployment if elected. Obi stated this at a meeting with PDP stakeholders and delegates from Sokoto and Zamfara states on Thursday at the party secretariat in Sokoto. Former governor of Anambra declared that he had the capacity to fix the political and socio-economic challenges of Nigeria. He said Nigerians needed to make informed decisions that would produce a president with capacity to fix the socio-economic and political challenges bedeviling the country. I served as the governor of Anambra State for 8 years. I built stronger institutions in the state, promising to replicate such as president of the country when elected. I was the vice presidential candidate with Atiku Abubakar on the platform of PDP in 2019, and I leveraged on his experience as a captain with focus, integrity, tested resource management skills, and contentment to achieve such feat. A society will work only if people pursue the cause with strong determination, Obi said. He noted that Nigeria had potentialities and human resources that, if maximally exploited, would ensure strong economic and social institutions as obtained in other developed nations. According to him, when he was governor, his administration implemented policies that catered for workers' salaries, pensions, and gratuity payments. The presidential aspirant added that he did not leave outstanding along with contract payments. He stressed that tackling unemployment and ensuring stronger institutions would eliminate security challenges and facilitate rapid development. Earlier, the Sokoto State's deputy chairman of PDP, Alhaji Zaki Bashiri, welcomed Obi to the state, describing him as an astute economist capable of transforming the nation's challenges in recognition of his experience. Bashiri assured delegates support towards party's successes in future elections. He said Obi was among the few individuals that would shape Nigeria and strengthen the nation's potentialities. From the Daily Post, 2023 presidency. Northern groups give reasons Igbos can't be trusted with power. Ahead of the 2023 presidential elections, the coalition of northern groups, CNG, has said the Igbos can't be trusted with power. CNG's spokesman, Abdulaziz Suleiman, said Igbos cannot be trusted with power because their elders pose national threats following their recent warning of disrupting Nigeria if they can't produce the country's next president. Addressing journalists in Abuja yesterday, Suleiman said the same Igbo elders calling for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Ipob, are the ones still agitating for the presidency in 2023. Suleiman said, similarly, groups of Igbo leaders and elders have engaged in desperate covert and overt efforts to secure the unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra terror group, standing trial for crimes against the state. As if these words were not enough, the same group of Igbo elders again recklessly issued a national security threat on May 4th, 2022, that any attempt to elude the zone of the presidency in 2023 may rupture the existence of Nigeria as a corporate entity, as well as aggravate crisis, conflict, separatist demands, and others. This has deepened the fears that the Igbos cannot and should never be trusted with presidential power. The Southeast has been agitating for presidency in 2023. Stakeholders from the Southeast and other parts of the country insisted that 2023 is the region's turn to produce the country's president. A few days ago, Governor David Umahi of Ebonyi State had warned that the Southeast region might start boycotting voting for people, shortchanging it from clenching the position of the president of Nigeria. And in our headline article of the week, examining the efficacy of Igbo presidency, Emeka Alex Duru writes, Southeast presidency and imperative of national unity. The argument that the choice of who becomes president of Nigeria in 2023 is of strategic importance to the future of the country is in order. It factors in the attributes of competence, character, and capacity, qualities of leadership needed in nation building. There are also considerations of equity, justice, and fairness, the totality of which make for unity and development. These considerations become more compelling as the 2023 elections draw near and the clamor for a president of the Southeast extraction gains traction among fair-minded Nigerians. As it is, apart from the ultra-conservative few that insist on the old ways, there is near unanimity among Nigerians on the need for the region to produce the next president. The matter is a mantra of sorts. It is particularly heartwarming that the clamor is resonating among many people and groups across the country. Apex Yoruba Social Cultural Group, Afenifere, the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEV, and Middle Belt Forum, MBF, are enthusiastically sold to the idea, promoting it at every forum. The groups did so on April 25th when Afenifere leader, Chief Ayo Adebanjo, his PANDEV counterpart, Chief Edwin Clark, and Dr. Pogo Bitrus of MBF argued eloquently and persuasively that it was the turn of the Southeast Zone to produce the president in 2023. They spoke in Abuja at a conference to unveil the Southeast presidential hopefuls in some political parties to other Nigerians. They stressed forcefully that on the basis of equity, justice, and fairness, the political parties in the country should pick their presidential candidates from the Southeast as a way of giving the people of the area a sense of belonging. Adebanjo was emphatic that his group The Afenifere was in support of the agenda. Clark added, "We, Pandev, stand for power shift to southern Nigeria. Igbo people deserve the presidency of Nigeria." For Beatrice of MBF, it is the turn of the Southeast to produce the president. The First Republic politician and erstwhile presidential advisor Tanko Yakasa has made similar remarks. These are voices that cannot be ignored or dismissed with a wave of the hand. They are credible representatives of their people and regions. The Latin expression, "the voice of the people is the voice of God," makes meaning here. Over time, the Southeast has offered itself as the wheel upon which Nigeria's economic, commercial, and intergroup relation revolves. It has paid its dues and deserves fair treatment in its quest for the presidency. Doing so will guarantee equity and justice as well as promote political inclusion. The clamor is not just on the basis of equity and fairness. There are also historical and empirical imperatives. Some other regions have had shots at the office since 1999. The Southwest had it through Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, the Northwest through the late President Umaru Yar'Adua and President Muhammadu Buhari. The South-South had it through Dr. Goodluck Jonathan. The North had earlier produced Abubakar Tafawa Balewa and Alhaji Shehu Shagari in the First and Second Republic, respectively. In the days of the military, the North had Generals Yakubu Gowon, Murtala Mohammed, Muhammadu Buhari, Ibrahim Babangida, Sani Abacha, and Abdulsalami Abubakar, while the West had Obasanjo, except for the brief 6-month stint of General Johnson Thomas Aguiyi-Ironsi. The East has not had any taste of the office. Again, since the end of the 1967-1970 Nigeria Civil War, the region has been grappling with marginalization in virtually all sectors, especially on the political front. Presidency to the zone in 2023 will signal an end to the ugly side of Nigeria's history. More so, the people from the region have shown commendable commitment in the unity of the country through their interaction and investments in other parts of the country. They are the only ethnic group in Nigeria that can boast of a sizable presence in virtually every state or community in the country, operating businesses, building mansions, going to school, and above all, contributing to the socio-economic development of their host states and communities. The Igbo equally constitutes the second largest voting population after the indigenous people in virtually every state outside their homeland. Dr. Nana, former personal assistant to the late Igbo leader, Dame Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, was therefore right that the presidency will give the Igbo a feeling of acceptance, full integration, recognition of their contribution to the country, and a sense of dignity. If we fail to do so, come 2023, it will remain a blot on our political consciousness. Hence, the ideal of the moral universe and justice implores both APC and PDP to do the needful. Good enough, aspirants from the zone have exhibited maturity in going about the demand. The fear before now was that they lacked unity and would establish one another and would rubbish one another in going about the quest. That has not happened. Rather, despite their political differences, they have so far acted with the utmost decorum and decency. They are equally men and women who achieved their marks in their different endeavors. With aspirants like Peter Obi, former governor of Anambra State, entrepreneur par excellence, Senator Ayim Pius, a lawyer, former Senate President and Secretary to the Government of the Federation, a brilliant administrator, Mazi Sam Ahuabomwa, a former class pharmacist and accomplished boardroom guru, Professor Kingsley Moghalu of the African Democratic Congress, an economist, lawyer, former deputy governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Dr. Chris Ngige, former governor of Anambra State, former senator, Dave Umahi, governor of Ebonyi State, who has recorded great feats in infrastructural development of his state, Dr. Obonayonu, author, engineer, first civilian governor of Abia State, and Emeka Majuba, lawyer, erstwhile Minister of State of Education. Indeed, we're presenting a lineup that will make Nigerians proud again. If merit is a yardstick for office, they have it in quantum. Although the PDP and APC appear to have thrown their tickets for the office open, it does not diminish the demand. What is required for the parties to nominate their candidates from the zone? It had been done before in conceding the presidency to the Southwest in 1999. The same approach would be adopted for the Southeast in 2023. The argument of the constitutionality of the demand also does not arise. The federal character principle in the 1999 Constitution, as amended, and quota system in employment and admission to federal institutions of higher learning are all about ensuring equity and fairness. The same can be applied in attaining the Southeast presidency in 2023. This brings to an end our news review of the week. This is BCB, and I thank you all for listening.
I welcome you all to this segment on security orientation. I am General Joe Skin Miracle Egwotu, your security consultant. The major aim of this section is to educate members of the Biafran community all over the world and the general public on the disastrous effect of fire and the need to prevent fire outbreak through precautionary measures. We all know that fire is indispensable to life. Fire serves as one of the most essential phenomenon to complement man's existence on earth. There is no aspect of life without the element of fire. As man's environment expanded, so was the application of fire and the need to prevent fire outbreak. The need to prevent fire outbreak is everybody's business. Fire is a very good servant if employed correctly, but a wicked and destructive master if mishandled. Cases of the outbreak and collapsed buildings have been on the increase. Most of these cases of fire outbreak that lead to destruction of lives, properties, and financial losses are the result of negligence and the lack of knowledge of fire prevention. The best insurance against loss of lives and finances and personal properties is fire prevention. Like they say, prevention is better than cure. It is easier, cheaper, and better to prevent fire outbreak than to cure its consequences. Some causes of fire outbreak: carelessness and ignorance are the two major causes of fire outbreak in our communities. Unextinguished firewoods led by food sellers, hunters, campers, and others can cause fire outbreak. Carelessness with smoking materials like tobacco, cigarettes, and matches can cause fire outbreak. Trash burning, grass and bush burning. Vandals who rapture petroleum pipelines to steal fuel often cause fire outbreaks. Power transmission lines and accessories such as transformers, arsonists who may use a variety of devices like petrol, a lighter, or matches. Bomb blasts by militants or terrorist groups often causes fire outbreaks. Firearms which under certain circumstances may blow spark burning powder into dry vegetation, spontaneous combustion, overheated machinery which may be in contact with combustible materials. Overloading of electric points and use of multiple adapters can also cause fire outbreaks. Careless use of candles and lanterns at night can lead to fire outbreak. When fire occurs, certain people believe that extinction of such fire is the sole responsibility of firefighters, even if the fire is small. Maybe all that is needed is just a few buckets of water. Anyone, even little children, can do that. But if the fire is big, the fire service could be called in immediately. Please take note of the following simple fire prevention rules so that in case of there is an emergency outbreak, we'll be able to know what to do. In this time, we want to break down, because of time limit, to break down some of the fire prevention rules to be able to contend with the time we have here. There are so many prevention strategies and tactics and techniques, but for that time frame, we are going to limit ourselves to some important rules here. And some of these rules are: all electrical appliances should be switched off and deplugged before retiring to bed. Flammable materials left near any source of heat should be moved to a safe place. For example, you should not place clothes near a candle or lantern. Clothes are flammable materials. Lighted candles should not be placed on combustible materials like TV, wooden table, plastic cups, etc. Good storage condition should be maintained in stores and warehouses to avoid spontaneous ignition. Avoid hoarding of petroleum spirit, which is petrol, in dwelling houses, shops, or prohibited areas. It is very unsafe to store petrol in jerry cans in your house. Petrol is highly inflammable and has been a major cause of fire outbreak, especially during periods of fuel scarcity. Any naked flame should be extinguished and fire stop made between what is burning and unaffected properties. Ensure regular maintenance of engine and machineries. When building a house, a warehouse, hotel, or petrol station, never disregard the instructions of the fire officer, as this may lead to disastrous effects in the future. For now, my people, let's keep safe by abiding with these security tips till I come your way again on this same great station. Bye for now.
Fellow Biafrans, we have come again to the end of our program. This is Rosama. In a few days, it will be the end of May. May is a special month for Biafrans. On May 30th, 1967, Biafra was born. On May 30th, Biafrans will remember those we lost to the struggle, or we will memorialize the day of the establishment of an independent state of Biafra more than 50 years ago. We could also use May 30th to simply sit down and contemplate where we are going. Why are we still engaged in this struggle more than 50 years after the end of the war? As we head towards May 30th, contemplate what the struggle means for you. As part of our ongoing series, looking back at history through the journals of Odimegwu Ojukwu, we return again to his witnessing. I read from Ojukwu's journals, his entry for May 13th through May 19th, as he bears witness to Gawan's efforts to subjugate Biafra even before it was born. And so I read from Ojukwu's journal. May 13th, demonstrations by students of the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. In a 2-point resolution, the students state, 1, Gawan's acts of perfidy, now combined with total economic and diplomatic blockade of the East, amply show that Eastern region is no longer wanted in the Federation. 2, to save the people of the region from strangulation, the Eastern Nigerian government should make the only logical break of the blockade by asserting our right to self-determination. Our new state should be called Biafra. You heard us read this section last week, but we are doing this in a continuum. We want to connect the dots. And now, May 14th, demonstrations of women in Enugu urging me to, quote, save us from Gawan's tightening noose, unquote. May 15th, Chief Awolowo warns that the federal military government is not the right authority to try to rebuild Nigeria politically. Lieutenant Colonel Adebayo of Western Nigeria, speaking in an official ceremony in Chief Awolowo's house, spurs Yorubas, quote, to assert their rights, unquote. He calls on his people to meet the challenge facing them as a component part of Nigeria, quote, whichever way the present crisis may turn, unquote. Adebayo continues, quote, it is only by this way can Yorubas help to lift the ominous clouds hanging over Nigeria quickly. The moment calls for deep thought, for a correct action to assert our right without infringing those of others, unquote. Dr. Akani Ibiam blames our intellectuals and charges them to be active. Speaking at a luncheon after the installation of Chief Awolowo as Chancellor of Ife University, Sir Ibiam says, quote, it seems to me that the learned men in Nigeria are not giving the best of their service to our country, unquote. May 16th. The military governor of the Midwest, Lieutenant Colonel Ejo, declares that his region is not prepared to support any of the regions of the Federation against another, quote, merely to keep the Federation going on their own terms, unquote. He is speaking during a farewell call on him by Mr. John Volkmar, director of the International Dialogues of the American Quaker Friendship Service Committee. May 19th. Adebayo opposes Gowon's plan to bring in British troops to police the Midwest for a meeting of the Supreme Military Council and calls for goodwill. He declares, quote, we will not subscribe to the idea of inviting British troops to Nigeria for the purpose of holding a meeting of the country's military rulers. All military leaders should demonstrate good faith and preparedness for peace and meet themselves instead of meeting under the protection of foreign soldiers, unquote. His speech follows Lieutenant Colonel Gowon's admission that he will not object to Nigeria's military rulers meeting in a British warship or in a neutralized military zone, policed by British troops anywhere in the country. Catholic bishops of Nigeria send messages of appeal to the military governors in Nigeria, calling for a peaceful settlement of the Nigeria crisis through negotiation. Ojukwu's entry for May 19th ends. There you have it. Ojukwu's witnessing suggests an escalation of the crisis. Various voices are weighing in, all acknowledging that there is a problem with the federation called Nigeria. It's not as if Igbos have imagined or Biafrans have imagined that there is a crisis in Nigeria, and then that there was a crisis in Nigeria. Bear in mind that their people have already been killed in the northern cities. So here we are. All right, we'll end therefore with this. Let us ponder what the struggle means for us. What is your relationship with Biafra? How do you propose to contribute to the survival of our people? This is significant in light of the continued conversation or non-conversation about a president of Nigeria of Igbo descent. What will that actually do? Will that person address, resolve the question of Biafra? Will that person acknowledge that Biafrans, Igbos, Southeasterners, however you define yourself, have suffered and have continued to suffer? Will that person continue to hold a noose around our necks? Fellow Biafrans, we invite you to contemplate deeply. We ask you to dig deep. Where do you want to see yourselves next year, in the next few years? What legacy do you hope to leave for your children, for the next generation? What stories do you hope the next generation will read about us? This is Rosamah. Join us next Sunday as we continue our journey towards an equitable society, a free homeland. Peace. This is the Broadcasting Corporation of Biafra. Thank you for listening to us today. Join us next time for news, cultural, and educational programs. This is the Broadcasting Corporation of Biafra, BCB.